The camera's over there.
Oh, is it?
Morecambe Wise were one of the best-loved comedy acts in British television history.
We're a partnership, aren't we? So. On the jaw. Oh.
Their on-screen chemistry took them to the top of their profession.
I'm going home. Thank you very much.
But less well-known is that their remarkable journey was chronicled by home movie footage that Eric and Ernie filmed themselves. Shot in the 1950s and 60s, Morecambe Wise's lost films recorded their lives off-screen, whether it was their friendship, their life at home, or their travels around the world. It's archive kept by their wives and families for decades, most of it unseen by the people Eric and Ernie filmed, until now.
I've never seen this footage before, and this is absolutely amazing.
Remarkable clips that captured comedy history in the making.
That's it, that's it. That's it. Oh, it's brought tears to my eyes now.
Throughout their 40-year career, Eric and Ernie meticulously recorded their lives in show business. From photographs to audio recordings, programs of the first shows they played together, to tickets from their travels around the world. Everything was kept. But the most incredible items in their treasure trove of mementos are dozens of reels of home movie footage, rediscovered earlier this year, most of them belonging to Eric Morecambe.
It's just marvellous, really, to see it again, isn't it?
Isn't it fabulous?
Yeah. Absolutely fabulous.
For the first time, Eric's wife, Joan, and their children, Gail and Gary, can watch the amazing footage that has been left behind.
I had long forgotten, and it was a complete shock to me to find that there was so much footage. Because now it's fantastic that he took so much stuff. Absolutely extraordinary.
Oh, and Dad's in this as well.
Oh.
You can see him being mischievous already, Dad, can't you?
He just always had this twinkle in his eye,
yeah,
didn't he?
it was. He always had to start acting. Yeah.
What's he eating?
Peanuts, I think.
I can remember I used to have to carry all the things that went with the camera.
Yes.
I was always the one
That was your job.
the camera.
You know, isn't it funny with Dad and all the filming that he did, I don't ever remember seeing him get the camera out. I don't remember ever being told that we were about to be filmed. It was very much just normal family life that he wanted to capture.
Eric Bartholomew and Ernest Wiseman met as teenagers in 1939. Within 2 years, they had formed a double act. By the early 1950s, the newly named Morecambe Wise were regulars on the variety circuit.
What are you going to call yourself?
How about Elsie?
No!
But this young duo were about to become a foursome, their home movies recording the start of two lifelong love stories. Beginning in 1952, when Eric met beauty queen and actress Joan Bartlett at a theatre in Edinburgh.
I met Eric purely by accident because someone had dropped out of a show, so I went up on the train to join it. And yeah, so that was how it happened, you know. Eric met me and he said to Ernie, "That's the girl I'm going to marry," which I'm sure nobody believed, but actually it was perfectly true. After that, it was all a bit whirlwind, and he was determined he was going to get married, and we were married, you know, a year later.
Oh, Mum and Dad. I mean, it's just extraordinary, their relationship, I think. He totally admired her. He always thought she was the most beautiful thing that he'd ever seen. He had her right up on a pedestal, and I do say quite rightly that she was on this pedestal because she was remarkable. Dad always knew that Mum was fundamental to his success. Without your mother, we'd have none of this, he'd say.
Yeah, he was romantic, but he wasn't soppy, you know. Although, mind you, having said that, we used to send each other cards. And they're somewhere here, and I'm hoping my family don't find them before I find them, because they were very personal to us.
Eric had met the perfect partner in Joan. Meanwhile, Ernie's earliest home movie films show the love of his life, dancer Doreen Blythe.
Ernie and Doreen had been sort of going together on and off for about 7 years, a long time. But he never actually reached the point of marrying. I think it was really Eric so suddenly marrying me. So I think then that did spur Ernie on. So they did. They married about a week later.
Ernie and Doreen were the perfect couple, and they got on well together, and there was never an argument. And she was lovely. She helped him. She was the backroom person who sent him off to work happily.
Early on in their marriage, the couple decided that they wouldn't have children, and Doreen devoted herself to life on the road with her new husband.
Doreen was very keen that she should always travel with Ernie. Ernie really did rely on Doreen almost completely, so it seemed to work fine for them, you know. And they did travel an awful lot, and they made the most of it. I think they've been all over the world, so a great, great life for them.
Ernie took his camera on every trip, each foreign adventure captured on celluloid. Meanwhile, Eric would use his to record the very beginnings of family life.
Married life, really, it was very difficult at the beginning because Eric went straight into pantomime, and we never bargained on the fact that I was going to fall pregnant right away.
Ernie was the natural choice as godfather to Eric's daughter Gail, a role he took to with typical humour. Despite performing both evenings and matinees, Eric revelled in his role as a new father, spending as much time as possible with his little girl.
Eric took so many pictures of Gail. All the time he was taking pictures of her. Isn't that lovely? And she a bonny baby.
Certainly had cheeks.
Well, I think we both so doted on Gail. Just absolutely idolised this little baby. But there again, terribly hard. We didn't always have hot running water. I can remember having to light a boiler to get hot water, and so having to do that about 6 o'clock in the morning, you know. I can remember bathing her originally in like a tin bath. Yes, not the height of luxury, but somehow you just accepted it. It was the way things were. He didn't complain, you know, he just got on with it.
Eric Morecambe's earliest home movie footage coincides with the arrival of Gail, but he also took his new camera to work. In December 1953, a year before they made their television debut, Morecambe and Wise were booked to appear at the Sheffield Lyceum, playing the robbers in the pantomime Babes in the Wood. This footage is now the earliest known moving images of Eric and Ernie. Co-star and comedian Stan Stennett shared the duo's love of home movies and filmed the pair with Eric's camera while they were on the stage.
In the 50s, it was all about cine cameras. It was the in thing. And of course, you've got to remember as well that Eric and Ernie were brought up on going to the cinema. So the idea that you could actually have your own cine film meant that you could obviously see your family growing up and your holidays and in this case, pantomime seasons. This is absolutely wonderful footage from a real bygone age.
That is the most astonishing thing I've seen, because normally when you see pantomime footage, it's usually Pathé News. To see Freddie Sales the day making up, he's doing it privately for Eric, he's just doing a silly little skit. That's a piece of treasure which I do hope ends up preserved for eternity.
Playing the parts of the babes in Sheffield alongside Morecambe and Wise were two local girls, Yvonne Saunderson and Valerie Spedding.
We first met Eric and Ernie at the first rehearsal. We walked in very hesitantly, Yvonne and I, sort of edging each other, thinking, this is it. It was very difficult not to start laughing when Eric and Ernie started telling jokes. You know, they used to say stupid things to us, to try and make us laugh, but we wouldn't, because it was a serious scene when we were crying, when we were lost in the woods. When they really got famous, you could brag and say, I worked with them. And it was a wonderful feeling. And some people would say, oh, you haven't, but I did. And that's the difference.
Over 60 years have passed since Valerie and Yvonne worked with Morecambe and Wise. The Sheffield Babes lost touch after the production. But today, they're meeting again on the very stage they shared with Eric and Ernie.
It's a dream come true, isn't it? I'm going to cry. Oh, it's fantastic. To be back in this wonderful theatre. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the time when I lost my voice? Yeah. He stood at the front, did Morecambe and Wise, but Morecambe was saying, I've had enough. And he stands in front and he goes, right, lights. He gets all the lights on, do you remember? Oh, yeah. And he got them all looking under the seats. They don't know what they're looking for. And they looked under the seats and they said, I'm sick of it. He said, she's lost her voice and we can't find it anywhere. I know. And that has always stayed with me. Just, it's here. That's all you can say. It just takes your breath away. And it's all the memories now. Yes. I can be stood there waiting for Morecambe and Wise to come to us. It's just brought it all back. After 63 years. Will you shut up about that?
The cine film has left an incredible record of the 1953 pantomime. Now, for the first time,
We're on.
Valerie and Yvonne can see themselves on stage with Eric and Ernie.
Oh, there he is. That's it.
Ernie.
Ernie. Absolutely.
That's it, that's it. That's it.
That's fantastic. Oh, it's brought tears to my eyes now. Oh, doesn't it seem strange watching it now? Oh, that's wonderful. Do you know, never in this lifetime would you think to come back all these years and see something like that, would you? Never.
No.
This was the only time Valerie and Yvonne would work with Morecambe Wise. But pantomime would prove a key booking for Eric and Ernie each year, working as part of a team both on and off stage.
Stand there, and Dad without his glasses, looking a bit blind. on the wing, he used to play left wing.
Charity football matches between theatres were quite common in the 50s, and my dad being a big football fan, he would have obviously made sure that there was a Babes in the Wood football team, and they would challenge then another local theatre to play a game on a Sunday when obviously everybody had the day off.
Enjoying
Look at this is real football. Look, he's really got into it.
Yeah.
Whoa. He's the one with the red socks.
Yeah. Well, cool, good cross.
Yeah, it's quite good, isn't he?
The football matches, they were all big social occasions. And you met the other members of the show business family, your show business family. We were like brothers and sisters. They were very good fun.
Do you not think that you were filming
You're probably
this? Someone
filming
else
this.
must be filming.
Well, I did have to swim because I got shouted off. I was going on the pitch, and they were saying, get off the pitch." So I evidently got carried away and
Filming.
Yeah.
ending up in
hilarious,
so I got
Mum.
shouted at to get off the pitch.
That's hilarious. I once said to him, did you ever consider being a professional footballer? Because his dad was supposed to have been, and they were all very sporty on his father's side. And he just looked at me and he said, 2 problems, Gail, both feet. So he clearly didn't think he was
He didn't think he was going to make it, yeah.
No, he wasn't into that league, I don't think.
A great fan of the beautiful game, Eric was in his element on the pitch. In the 1950s, Eric and Ernie's winters were taken up by panto. But the spring heralded the beginning of another vital part of their working lives. And wherever they went, their cameras went with them.
If a variety house has got a good summer season and a pantomime, you were having a wonderful year. The summer season did start in April or May and finish in November. A long season.
It's hard to appreciate what a special thing summer season was, not just for the punters, but also for the performers. The British seaside was booming back then.
In those days, they had what they called wakes weeks, when a town or a city would just close down for the week, and everybody would go on holiday.
We did enjoy summer seasons very much, but once I had children of school age, it became a case of Eric would go down to wherever it was, and then when the children broke up from school, I had a little car of my own, and I would drive them down, and that was lovely.
Summer seasons were very important in our lives as kids, for Gail and I, definitely. It became more of a family holiday, funnily enough. My father actually could join in the fun of it and then just do that nasty business around about 6 o'clock where he had to go and do a show and then come back. But for us as a family unit, we just simply transplanted ourselves from a home to another home, and it was all rather fun, really.
Funny thing was with Eric and Ernie was that in the 50s, they were not household names in the way that we'd think of comics today. But actually, for the course of that summer, they would really be in the spotlight, and they would be expected not just to perform in the show, but to get out and sell the show.
Certainly, both Eric and Ernie, they got roped in for judging beauty competitions. And you always had that. That was a feature at the seaside.
Look at the high heels with the swimming costumes.
Little would they know that we're sitting here watching them in their youth.
No, I know.
Yeah.
One of the very nice things was when there was a huge garden party and all the showbiz people working in Blackpool, and there were many, they would all go to the garden party.
It was a chance to meet all your friends, all the other turns, a chance to look at the stars and say, wow, she's beautiful. It was a chance to see all the big names. So, yeah, it was a great social occasion.
In 1958, 4 years after their first attempt at television had failed, Eric and Ernie were appearing in summer season at the Morecambe Winter Gardens. On the bill was a spectacular lineup featuring stars of stage, radio and television. Joining them in the chorus was an 18-year-old dancer who would soon have Eric and Joan to thank for a key turning point in her life.
We were very fond of Fiona Castle, and we sort of took her under our wing a bit. And then, of course, it was Eric and I, well, Eric mainly, that introduced Fiona to Roy Castle.
It was one of those weekends when I was staying with them and Roy happened to come on the television. I thought he was so brilliant. So in a silly moment, I said to Eric, oh, if ever you do a show with Roy Castle, can I come along? Because I'd love to meet him. I think he's so talented. And all I got was, oh, all right, love. And it was probably 2 or 3 years later, and Eric rang me at the theatre and said, hey, I'm doing a television with Roy. Do you want to come along? It's on a Sunday. And so I went with Eric's wife, with Joan, and Eric took me into Roy's dressing room, and I was so excited about this. And it was the worst moment of my life, because Eric just said, Roy, this is Fiona, she's in love with you, and then left. Thank you, Eric. Oh. We got married a year later, and Eric felt so responsible for what he had done that he used to ring us every month to make sure we were still speaking to one another.
It's been over 5 decades since the summer season Fiona shared with Eric and Ernie in this theatre.
This brings back so many memories from such a long time ago. It's nearly 60 years since I was here.
We always share 50-50. We haven't got 50, we've got 1.
They were very well known in those days, but it was before they became very famous with lots of television shows.
Why don't you come on at the same time as me, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Won't have to keep repeating it.
Ah, but you've got those short, fat, little hairy legs that go like that, haven't you?
There was always a wonderful chemistry between Eric and Ernie. They seemed to know what they were both capable of doing in different ways. They were brilliant.
2 shows a night, 6 days a week, time off was rare. But on one occasion, the company took a trip together to Keswick in the Lake District, all filmed by Eric on his cine camera.
Oh my goodness, that's me. Was I ever that young? I've never seen this footage before, and this is absolutely amazing. We all went out for a day as a sort of treat, the whole company. It was very special in those days to do anything that was not just the work that we had to do, so it was lovely. There's Ernie pretending to be the driver of the bus. And there we were, the old dancers there at the back. There's Joan, I can see her. Semprini making a fool of himself. Some lovely memories.
But Eric and Ernie's double act was soon to be seen in sunnier climes than the seaside towns of northern England. In 1958, with their television careers already seemingly behind them, Morecambe Wise took their comedy and their cameras to the other side of the world.
Oh, look at this. Is that Sydney Harbour Bridge? He did
And you
6
were away
months
for
away.
6 months, yeah.
3 months in Sydney, was it? And 3 months in
Months in
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
A telegram come from Eric and Ernie's agent, and I think they were in a sort of a bit of a dilemma over their future. But then that came, and of course that was like pennies from heaven. That was extraordinary. And to go to Australia, I mean, you know, the other side of the world.
Trip of a lifetime. We would never been able to go there otherwise if it wasn't that work took us there.
But it was a mixed blessing for you, wasn't it? Because you did find it difficult to leave Gary and I.
At first I wouldn't go, and Eric said, well, if you don't come, I don't go, we don't do the work. So you're put on the spot then, you know. I was very upset, and also, you know, on the mobile phones now, you'd always be in touch. But then we used to sort of have an arrangement whereby we rang at a certain time to be able to have a quick word with you.
A postcard sent by Joan to Gail from San Francisco reads, "I'm glad we didn't bring you, dear, as it feels like we've been travelling for weeks and are still only halfway to Australia. We're at the airport now waiting for a plane to Honolulu, and it is late at night. We do miss our 2 lovely children. Hope you're looking after Gary for me, dear."
I had a fantastic 6 months with my grandparents, and I remember that I had a dress which my grandmother had said I couldn't wear because they were going to keep it, it was going to be very special, and I could wear it when Mum and Dad came back. And this particular day, she said, "Gail, do you want to go and try that dress on? Let's see if it still fits." And I went and put the dress on, and what feels like not very long afterwards, Mum and Dad walked in through the front door.
I could have wept when I came back and thought, they've grown that amount since I've been gone, you know.
Before the tour began, Eric and Ernie treated themselves to brand new Super 8 cameras. The home movie footage shot by the pair documents their extraordinary trip around the world in an age when foreign travel was a luxury.
You dressed up to go on a plane then. Now everyone puts on something for comfort, an old pair of jeans or something. But you dressed up, you were going on a flight, so you put your nice clothes, your smart clothes on. Eric was very excited about going abroad and working abroad, slightly nervous as to how they would do. But no, actually they were welcomed, you know, like royalty.
Look at that, Mum.
Incredible, isn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it? This is a test match, isn't it, in Australia?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's a test match. We got hooked on it. We went more or less every day.
To watch cricket?
Yeah, absolutely got hooked on it. Got so excited with it.
Really? And this was
I
a
loved
test
it,
match,
yeah,
was it?
Loved the test
Yeah.
match.
This is the days when Richie Benno was
And I
playing for
did
Australia.
have,
Wow.
half of the England side back to our flat.
Wow.
And cooked them roast turkey.
You're amazing.
So I presume it must have been Christmas. I don't know, but all I know is I cooked them a roast turkey dinner.
On their journey home from their Australian tour, Eric and Joan and Ernie and Doreen took in the sights of New Zealand, Fiji, Los Angeles and Las Vegas.
It's only through Eric and Ernie's work that we ever got the chance. We would never in our lifetime have had the chance to go abroad like that, you know. So we had a lot to be grateful for, and we certainly made the most of it. We really did.
Not many young men who have been brought up in very, very humble backgrounds end up sort of seeing the world, you know, Australia, New York, everywhere. Well, it's nice to know that I've done it all.
Within 2 years of their trip to the other side of the world, Morecambe Wise were back on TV with their first series for ITV. Two of a kind.
You are a funny man. I am, yes. I'm very tall as well, because my feet are on the floor, you know.
But they harboured even more ambitious plans: to become stars in America. During the 1960s, Eric and Ernie, along with their wives and cameras, made regular trips across the Atlantic to appear on the nation's most watched entertainment series, The Ed Sullivan Show.
Ed Sullivan was the host of this huge show in America. If you got an offer from Ed Sullivan, you didn't turn it down.
He was over here looking for talent to take to America. He was always looking for new faces. And it was him that said to Eric and Ernie, you know, would you like to come over and work in America?
Morecambe Wise would appear on The Ed Sullivan Show a dozen times over 5 years, stopping off for holidays on their way back from New York.
It was very exciting, very different, terribly noisy. We did do the sightseeing stuff, which was lovely.
Actually seeing the home movies and seeing all the different places that they went to, that's actually quite an eye-opener for me, because as a child, your parents have gone away. You've gone to live with somebody else. You don't actually think about what they're doing. And now I look at it and I think, my goodness me. I mean, they did see a huge amount of the world.
The glamour of those days, when you look at that footage of New York, it's unreal, isn't it? All these big coats and scarves and hats, and it's just extraordinary. Yeah, a real time gone.
But despite their many visits, Morecambe Wise's breakthrough in America proved evasive, leaving Eric and Ernie with opposing views on the next step of their career.
Ernie always wanted to make it in the States. As a kid, he was described as the next Mickey Rooney, and he had a dream of becoming that. And for him, going on the Ed Sullivan Show, going to America was all his dreams come true. Eric wasn't so keen.
His view was they'd worked extremely hard to get it to a point where it was really beginning to take off in this country. You know, why would they want to start all over again somewhere else?
Conquering America proved the only difference of ambition Eric and Ernie would have during their whole career. But even so, their friendship never faltered.
The relationship between those two men, there was a great affection, but Eric was always saying, he's not the best straight man in the business, best one I'll ever have. He was always making remarks like that in front of Ernie. It was lovely.
But Dad and Ernie always look so happy.
Yeah, always smiling and always laughing.
Ernie always laughed at everything Eric did, and Eric always laughed at everything Ernie did. So they were great, you know, great appreciative society among themselves. They both appreciated each other's work.
And they were closer than brothers. For me, seeing the footage of Eric and Ernie, I didn't realise just how close it all was and that they were just laughing constantly. Their relationship was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I find it very moving, actually, with the footage, because seeing them so young, you know, these are guys in their 20s, early 30s, and already on an amazing journey, to be honest, and a long way to go yet. But just seeing them having fun doing it.
Their relationship off screen, they had separate lives. People thought they lived in each other's pockets. And they both said, no, we don't want that. They led very different lives, these old friends.
Ernie's home movies show another side to the showman on stage. At home in Peterborough, he enjoyed a simple life with his wife and his dog.
Ernie was completely different off stage to when he was on. When he was at home, he liked to be, you know, just quiet and do what he wanted and do some reading and go on his boat and that sort of thing.
He was a man that had a life apart from show business. He would enjoy himself with the rest of us.
Ernie was very friendly, most affable. It was just what you saw, you got. He used to walk up and down the street signing autographs, and he was switched off from being on the stage. He would never turn down anybody for an autograph or a picture. He was a lovely man.
Ernie was not an extrovert. He would be quite quiet and come to life when somebody spoke to him, but Ernie wasn't a man going, you know, it's me, Ernie Wise, you know who I am. No, not remotely.
Ernie was a very astute personality and mind. He was always a pleasure to be with and work with.
There's Ted and Doreen, yep. This was Stephen's christening. That's right, Stephen's christening. And of course, Ernie was godfather.
Jackie Hockridge and her husband Edmund had met Ernie during summer season in Torquay in 1961. They became lifelong friends and next-door neighbours.
Ernie was responsible for getting us here. We were saying that we were looking for a house, and Ernie said, well, there's a lovely house going next door. I said, oh, we don't know anything about Peterborough. I don't know about that. He said, well, why don't you come and spend a weekend? So we went and spent a weekend with them, and we went out to supper that night, and the guy burst into the restaurant and said, I accept your offer. And we said, what offer? Ernie had evidently been in and said, we'd pay so-so, such and such and such a thing, unbeknown to us. And we went back to Manchester thinking, wow, we bought a house in Peterborough. He was so funny, Ernie, because he was so proud of his cars. And the one thing we would say, oh, he's washing his car again. Well, we used to have an occasional party here, and so did Dorian and Ernie. We used to go into each other's house for dinner or something like that, just for a bit of fun. There were times when we have a party, and Dorian used to be a dancer, and I used to be a dancer, so we used to have a dance around, just impromptu, you know. Oh, it was always a lot of fun, of course, yeah. It's lovely to see it, actually, it is. Oh, goodness me.
While Ernie enjoyed life in suburban Peterborough, Eric's family movies, shot at home in Hertfordshire, reveal a quieter side to the more extrovert of the pair, a side he shared with his son Stephen, who the Morecambes adopted in 1973.
We both had a passion for trail fishing, and we spent many a time down on the River Test. We'd go out for the whole day. We had some really good quality times there, father and son times, and he enjoyed it. He really did. You could see it in him that he was totally relaxed. He liked the peace and quiet. And I mean, the house here is situated in the countryside. He would sit here with binoculars, bird watching. He got really quite good at identifying all the birds. Then we'd do the slow walk across the farmland, where you could see the moor birds and everything. So yeah, it was just his time to take it easier.
I think he really enjoyed taking photos, you know, taking stills. And that I do remember more as a child, this constant having to pose for a photo. Then you say, well, let's take one of you. And you say, OK, just a minute. And he'd find a false moustache, and he'd put a tea cosy on his head. And he'd stand there, and he had, well, on one of them, he had the China chicken, and he's just standing there smiling. You think, I only wanted to take a picture of you. I don't know, I got any of him just being normal.
Even off stage, Eric Morecambe could never stifle the entertainer in himself for long. At home, his children and their friends proved the perfect audience.
My father, when he was around children, it just brought out the 7-year-old in him. It is honestly true that in the summer, there would be a knock at the door after tea in the evening, and there'd be a child there. Is Mr. Bartholomew playing tonight? And we played hours and hours. And all my friends would come to play with him, which is extraordinary. I don't think I realised it at the time. I might not have liked it at the time, but now I realise completely that the entertainment was playing with Dad.
My father loved it when all the kids in the area got together and went off on bikes. He would want to sort of join in, really, and just, you know, be a child himself. What I hadn't anticipated is he'd still be like that when I was in my 20s. He was still kind of wanting to join in. And that's lovely, and they're my greatest memories.
Neighbours and childhood friends of Gary and Gail were Erica and Amanda Kilburn. They grew up around Eric's playfulness and great sense of fun. And alongside his own children, he often filmed their adventures.
We're about 3 houses away, and of course as kids you want to play with other kids in the neighbourhood, so we ended up going down to the Morecambes and meeting Eric and Joan, whom we call Mr. and Mrs. Bartholomew, and their children Gail and Gary.
Seeing if they had better toys than us or not.
We We had an awesome childhood. We were gone from dawn to dusk. We'd play in this thing, we'd make forts, we'd make houses. And as kids, it was absolutely incredible. Mrs. Bartholomew was great. She was so homey, friendly, welcoming.
Nice.
Excellent cook.
Yeah.
You know, took care
Very
of us.
kind.
Yes. Mr. Bartholomew, he was just hysterical. He was always funny. He was always doing things.
There was always a little
There's
comment.
always something going on. It was a lot of fun.
I remember him with that cine camera a lot, quite a lot, walking around with it. But, you know, he never wanted us to not be natural. So there was never any, like, oh, can you redo that again? Ride your bikes past me again while I get that shot. He got what he got. And I think he loved that.
Erica and Amanda have never seen any of the footage that Eric recorded. But today, along with Gary and Gail, they can look back on a family holiday to the Norfolk Broads that they shared with the Morecambes.
Oh, here we go. Hey.
Who's that?
It's you.
Oh, my God.
What are you wearing again?
I look like a boy. What was with that? I hated getting my hair cut. I'm about, what, 10?
So I'm 13.
That's about 80 years ago then.
Oh,
Erica.
Oh, very glam.
On your head.
Excuse me, that was the style, thank you, back then.
The jeans are great, sort of up to the navel.
There's Gary.
Gail, you look amazing. That's a great shot.
Your dad. Look at your mum and dad, isn't that nice?
Oh, it is lovely.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
My mum will like this.
How young he is there.
Great to see footage with Dad in it that isn't work-related, though.
I think it was very important to Dad to make it look good.
Yeah, and to focus on people.
Yeah.
He enjoyed that. And he was very good at it, really.
Yeah, I think he was.
I think he was, yeah.
But the funny thing was, he couldn't go out of a room with me without looking at me, and I'd be, you know, rolling my eyes and like, oh. And he'd just say, "You'll miss me. You'll miss me when I'm gone."
Yeah.
And somehow that was always the theme, yes. As if somehow I've done films and there's the TV shows. And he did ask me to watch. He did say, "You will watch, won't you?" Amazing.
Boat trips, days out, and family picnics. All were recorded by Eric. But the Morecambes and their camera also ventured further afield for their holidays.
Dad loved going on holiday, didn't he? He did love going on holiday. He loved going to Portugal, didn't he?
Well, that actually was his favourite.
From the time that I was about 12, I think, we had a villa in Portugal, and he absolutely loved going to Portugal. That was his second home.
Dad would never have gone on holiday without packing his camera, would he?
Oh, I think that'd be essential. We went over to Portugal because it gave Eric a little boat tour, and it gave the kids wonderful holidays. Eric was never a sand and sea person, so invariably he would sit on the veranda, you know, in his shorts and his hat, and have his little portable typewriter, and he'd sit there planning the next Christmas show.
He would stay at the villa while we'd all go down to the beach. And I know that when he was then on his own in the villa, that's when he would be doing a lot of thinking about the shows. He would play music and get ideas. I think he used to even write stuff down, ideas for sketches. And then we'd come back from the beach and he'd talk about what he'd been doing.
I've got tonsillitis again.
Yes, we must have been on holiday. You're in bed ill.
Yeah. As soon as the sun came out. Funny, isn't it? It's really weird.
His little short shorts.
And I love the fact that he's got his socks on still. Socks and sandals. Never took his socks off, did he?
British, you see. You always wear your socks.
Yes.
I think the longest stint we ever did was a month. And I can remember thinking that I thought that might drag, but it went by in an absolute blink of an eye.
I can't imagine that he was ever still on the beach. I don't remember him ever sunbathing in my life. No.
It's funny how Dad would never learn how to swim. When we got him waist deep into our swimming pool, that was an achievement.
Yeah.
The footage has brought back many memories of childhood, definitely, and the family environment, because a lot of that footage is completely fresh and new to me. I've not seen it before, ever. So seeing us all sort of having a laugh, really, and playing on the beaches, and my father messing around like he did, and my mother involved, it's wonderful, because it does trigger that feeling of, oh, yeah, it might have been 50-odd years ago, but yeah, it was great, wasn't it? And you do remember it. It does come back.
Eric and Ernie's home movies captured an era when Britain was still discovering the two men who would soon write their own chapter in television history.
The world misses me. Nobody misses you. The world misses me. Who misses you? I'll tell you who misses me. I'll tell you who misses me. Who? My missus misses me.
But the archives hold one last surprise. An audio reel containing Eric's personal commentary to some of his footage, recorded in his study at home. This is the first time his family have heard it.
This is a movie with sound.
That's good.
And then the rains came.
He's still acting.
He's doing a story again.
There's not much you can say about this one, is there? Gail and Gary, on a rainy day.
Oh, isn't that incredible?
Absolutely amazing.
Ah. Now this looks interesting.
I had absolutely no idea that Dad had put sound on any of his films. No idea at all.
Gail in the lead. Luckily, we went with them, otherwise we'll never know what they get up to.
That's unbelievable.
It's amazing hearing Dad's voice on this.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He must have told us what to do.
There she is.
I wish there was more of his voice. I'd love to have heard him in some of the other clips.
With an out-of-focus zoom.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just that bit.
That's absolute magic.
Extraordinary. God, wouldn't he be thrilled?
Yes.
He would be very thrilled that we're watching.
I think that's probably the most staggering thing of the whole footage, because when you put the man's voice to it, as well as the camera that he's filmed with, suddenly you've got the man there again. And that's, you know, that kills off all those years in between, and suddenly it's immediate. And we're back there ourselves. All this filming, it's incredible, absolutely. And he probably did it for this very reason.
Well, it certainly is a perfect record. You could never have got the same from just still pictures, could you? But it's a fantastic sort of
That was amazing.
history also of right through our lives in a way, you know, fantastic history. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
I think the filming now, it shows people who only see Eric as a comedian, know that he has a family, but I think it certainly shows people just how much he was involved, you know, how much it was this other side. And I wouldn't have changed anything for the world, you know.
He might have died young, but he got an awful lot into his life.
Well, he always said, you know, when he felt a bit doubtful of his future, he always said, nobody wants to grieve for me. I've had a wonderful life.
Oh.
Always said that. I've had a wonderful life. He said that days before he died. He
yes,
said that.
I remember. Well, he certainly laughed his way through an awful lot of it, didn't he?
And filmed his way through a
yes.
lot of it.
I had no idea that they'd filmed all this stuff actually when they were doing pantomime or doing the live shows on the variety circuit. And to me, it was very moving. It was quite kind of emotional.
Eric and Ernie just made everybody smile through their years on TV and on stage. And, you know, I think we're all very lucky to have had them.
I think people will be surprised to see a different Eric and Ernie, to see such a joyous Eric and Ernie that are clearly, yes, they might be performing, but they're only performing for home footage. It's not for anything else other than a bit of fun. Yeah, absolutely brilliant to see that difference.
They were unique. I don't think anybody has the same sense of humour and the way of doing things that they did as a couple.
People tell me, you know, well, you're very lucky because you've got all the programmes and you see your father on the programmes. But that isn't Dad. That is Eric Morecambe. Whereas this film, these films, they're just Dad and Ernie. You're not seeing Morecambe and Wise. And for me, there's a huge difference.